So while you were away,
what else happened?
The House approved a bill that essentially will ban TikTok.
Oh, I did see that.
I know this is a hot topic for
that.
you, and I wanted to talk about this too. So, yeah. So, I mean, they want to ban TikTok. Tell me your thoughts on that. Why you don't want it? Because I know you don't.
Well, I did see a bunch of, most of them were Democrats, Democrat congressmen on TikTok. One in particular was from New York 15, I believe. And they were talking about how Republicans and Democrats voted on this, and they agreed unanimously that TikTok should be banned. And you know what I have to say to that? Screw all of you, because TikTok is the only place where the truth is actually heard anymore. That is so ironic to say, because it is a Chinese communist organization. But guess what? Fox News sucks. CNN can just disappear. And SNBC, are you kidding me? Not even joke about that. But TikTok, I learn more on that stupid app than I do anywhere else.
So yeah, like my thing about this is I understand what they're trying to do.
No, I don't.
Well, I know you don't understand. Well, I think you do understand, because you and I have had this discussion before.
No, I don't. If they really cared about national security, let's go worry about our elections, which clearly have interference with from foreign governments like the Chinese and the Russians. Let's not worry about an app right now that its true and sole purpose is to just do stupid dance and encourage, honestly, idiotic generation.
Well, my point is, you've seen the algorithm differences between China and America.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm saying, totally, like, they get all the educational stuff, and all of Americans get a lot of stupid, moronic, in my opinion, retarded stuff to make us laugh and look at stupid. That
as a general umbrella.
Correct.
But then at the same time, the algorithm shows you what you want to see.
I was going to get at that too.
So if you're going to go look at moronic stuff, the algorithm will show it to you. But if you're actually looking for educational stuff, the algorithm shows it. I gotta tell you, my algorithm shows me rodeo stuff, eventing, jumping stuff, flat earth stuff, conspiracy theories, religious stuff, and quite frankly, just wholesome content. Because that's what I like and save and post, and so that's what TikTok will show me.
Correct.
If you're seeing other stuff, it's probably because you're liking other stuff.
Correct. Yeah. I agree that, like, yes, that they would do that. It brings up only the stuff that you want. It is curated to you. I have seen actually some really good arguments from people on TikTok saying that the conservative space is actually blowing up, as it does with every other social media site, is the truth prevails. And so therefore they're trying to get rid of that, especially because it's an election year. Apparently, I read this morning that Trump and Vivek both are against this now. They basically flip-flop. Because Trump was for banning TikTok when he was in president, and Vivek last year was even saying it.
I think Trump might be realizing how useful it is.
Maybe, yeah.
Or that the Democrats don't like it, so he doesn't want to.
Well, that's why I don't like Twitter.
I don't know.
That's why I hate Twitter now, because that's why I hate Elon. They did a 180 on Elon because he's now allowed Twitter to be a place where everyone can say whatever the heck they want. And basically, you're not going to get in trouble for that. Because again, they're losing control of all these institutions. But I also think that this is a terrible situation, because TikTok is technically a company, and this bill will set a precedent that they can cancel any company that they want just because they feel like it. And that's my biggest problem with this, that I don't want to have to give them the power for.
I don't like Zuckerberg or anybody else. I don't appreciate Bill Gates any more than anyone else who doesn't. But at the same time, as a free country and living in a place that provides us with the ability to do what we want, with who we want, how we want to do it without government interference, perfectly, we just can't. We do not want to stoop as low as them. I truly do not believe that an outcome justifies the means. It never does. You might think that it will in the moment, but in the long run, you end up creating a society that just has a morally gray area everywhere.
Yeah. Well, okay, so, but like, here's another thing too. This is another argument that people have, or that the government does do, is China has admitted that they do use this as a spying tool.
I'm sorry, what are they getting? Because if they wanted our phone number and email address and security number, they could get it from Mark.
So the issue is, like, I'm all for maybe it's a ban for government employees to not be able to
My
use
dad's
it.
not allowed to have on his phone,
See, there
and
you go.
he works for a company that does government contracts.
Correct, and they asked him not to do it because it did come out that they were actually able to. It's basically a third-party malware into the rest of your phone, and it gets every aspect of your phone. That includes banking records, locations, where you go, your maps, and everything like that. And I'm all for that, but at the same time, my theory is this: is my brother laughed at me because he's like, "You, out of all people, shouldn't have a TikTok," because he knows about this. I was like, "Where is my phone made?" And he goes,
China.
"Where do you mean?" I'm like, "Where's my phone made? China?" And I'm like, "Oh, so you think that they can do this on an
to
app?"
know how like Amber Alerts work or how those like mass shutdowns work on the phone? They have connections to all of it.
Exactly.
This
So
isn't
I'm like,
anything new.
yeah, my there's no difference between, in my opinion, that my phone is made in China and TikTok. So that's how I feel. But again, I think that there is more of a benefit to have more information out there. Again, we aren't really in a private society anymore. It's really hard to get off the grid. You have to basically get away from everything in order to get off the grid.
Burn your social security
So, but I'm okay with like
card.
government
Stop
people not doing it because they deal
fraud.
with actual classified stuff. But banning it for the rest of America, I think, is going to cause a lot of problems. But I also did hear that there are kids that were messaging their House of Representatives, like, I don't know, kids, maybe your age, maybe a little younger, who are saying, "I'm going to kill myself if you get rid of TikTok." That, in my opinion, means those kids need to be away from TikTok and get off of TikTok.
I think that shows a mental health issue.
It's insane.
Than anything else.
And so, yeah, for that reason, I mean, that might be a good reason to ban it. But in an overall thing, I don't think it would. But yeah. So anyway, well, let's move on to the next story. Did you hear about the kids at the school that were licking the toes and the armpits?
Oh,
so here, let me play this video.
Yes.
So let me play this video quick. The audio is not really important. Let me restart it here. So it's obviously, as I can see, a picture of kids just basically literally licking, I'm pretty sure it's peanut butter on their toes. So they're licking, this is at school. So this person, whoever this is,
I saw this.
or multiple people, probably were walking around because it's an assembly, probably, halfway through the school day. And obviously,
fascination with feet. I don't get it.
Well, apparently this has been a thing that's going on for years. So here's another link of this happening in 2015 where they're doing it as well. And then they also lick the armpits.
Peanut butter
and it's so, oh my, there's a video here of them licking, oh my lord, it's so freaking disgusting. And so
gross.
What this reminds me of is, I don't know, were you ever in a youth group where a youth pastor took out a sock from his shoe and drank Coke through like a sock? Okay.
No.
Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, I can't watch that video.
So have you ever heard of that though? Like,
no.
So this is like a trope in a lot of youth groups that they would do, like just like shock content. To where it's like shock content to make everyone kind of gross, feel uncomfortable, kind of all laugh at somebody.
But we did have this one game where we had to pick up cheese puffs with our feet and then move them in another bucket.
Yeah, but you didn't have to eat the cheese puffs. Well, right. But like, my point being is, like, this is like to the far extreme. Like, you're licking. Who thought this was a good idea to do this? Like, I just don't understand. I don't get how a school would be do this. They say it came out originally. It was reported that like it was students doing it to teachers, but then the school came out and said that it wasn't students doing it to teachers. It was actually students doing it to other students. So I don't really know the whole thing on that. But they came out with a stupid statement here. I'm going to pull up here too. But it's basically all participants in the assembly were students, signed up for the games, and then played ahead of time. No Deer Creek faculty or staff participated in the games. And basically they came out and said that all the students did this voluntarily. And therefore that was like their explanation and reasoning.
Okay.
Kind of allow it.
Kind of hot take here. Why do we care?
What do you mean?
Why do we care?
What do you mean, why do we care? You think that this is okay behavior at a school?
I think if they participated do I care? This is just more ammunition for me to not send my kids to public school.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I mean, it's fair. I understand what you're saying. I kind of agree.
I'm gonna just speak on my own experience. I'm homeschooled. I'm actually being homeschooled. Like, you kind of get comfortable with your own friends, be like to the point of where you might bite your or something like that. Like this, it's disgusting.
So would
like,
you get comfortable with your close friend to lick their feet?
Absolutely not. But I have, like, when my friends have stolen things from me, like food, and they put their hand in front of my mouth again, I threaten to bite their fingers.
But that is nowhere near the same thing.
I know, but I'm just like, why do we care? The public school, if these students participated in it freely, why do we care? Like, okay.
Okay,
I see you shaking your head, Mom. Charlie Kirk said this is truly disgusting. Yeah, it is. But like, it's a free country. If you and a friend want to lick each other's toes,
so allegedly
covered in peanut butter,
allegedly this was not teachers. I don't know if that's 100% true or not. They might be trying to cover it up. There might be
teachers would make it weird, but then again,
but my point is, so to full blow, and this is probably not a good solid discussion point, but you saying kids freely do this. Okay, so a kid freely sleeps with a teacher. It's a free world. Where's the line?
No,
I know you don't agree with that. That's why I'm just bringing this extreme case up.
No, in those cases, the teacher who is much more mature and has life experience and knows the consequences of actions, those teachers get punished. But they don't punish the kid because, first of all, frontal cortex not fully developed. And usually in those cases, it was the teacher who was seducing, grooming, and coercing those young children. If a kid and another kid decide to lick each other's toes, I'm confused. Are we supposed to send them to detention, jail? Are we supposed to start like...
I don't think the issue is with the children. I think the issue was with the teachers, and that's the issue with all this situation. I see you making
faces in the corner, Mom.
Well, she doesn't have a microphone because she can't really say anything, and we're not gonna be able to hear her because that's not set up for her.
She very clearly, just for the record, disagreed. I just said, I don't care though.
Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. We're not gonna be able to hear her unless she stands up and gets in front of the microphone. But anyway, I think the problem is the teachers and the administration. That's the problem. I think is the problem. And that's what everyone's arguing and getting angry about.
Again, I don't know what teacher came up with this idea, and probably you should look into them a little bit. Oh my gosh.
You can turn it.
I think you guys are missing the rest of the story because I watched an interview of a girl who went to that school, and here's what it was. The kids, quote unquote, were participating, but they were forced to participate in it. The only way they didn't have to participate in it is if they paid fines, and then they didn't have to do it. So the rich kids, the kids who had money didn't have to participate in it. But if you didn't have money to pay your way out of it, then you had to do it.
Wasn't this a charity?
Yes, they were doing it. I guess they were raising money for something. So, but the only way the kids could...
That's extortion. That's blackmail. That's something that the police need to now investigate.
So the interview that I saw, the girl said that she was fortunate that her parents would give her hundreds of dollars so she could pay her way out of not having to do the stuff.
Okay, stop. Okay.
So does that change your mind?
Extortion. That is something that needs to be investigated by the police. That's different. If a school is forcing children to do this, and the only way that they can get out of it is paying $100, that is something that needs to be investigated.
That's insane. I didn't hear about that either. I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that even makes it way worse.
This just said it was free will and it was students doing it to other students.
That was the statement given from the school, though. But again, I don't know the interview that your mom saw, but I do trust your mom because she does know. She does the same stuff we do. She's part of this team, in my opinion, as much as you and I are. That create all the stuff that we do. So, but that's
still though
what?
Okay, if it's what?
Well, and the other thing in the interview I saw, the girl said that it happened at lunch, so kids would try to avoid going to lunch so they have to participate in this. But the only way that you could guarantee that you wouldn't have to participate is if you could pay your way out of the fine. So I thought it was terrible.
That's insane.
Okay, I don't know why this. Okay.
I don't know if anything's ever come to that, but that happened last week. That was
now
really
it just seems really sketchy. But listen, if kids want to lick other kids' toes, like, have you ever played Truth or Dare with a bunch of boys?
Of course.
Like, they do things totally willingly, and then they laugh about it after.
And I agree with you. And again, that's why your whole friend analogy of biting them and doing that with your friends, I think, is different than doing it in like an assembly or a lunch.
Well,
like
all I'm
thingy,
saying is I
like-
don't know exactly. Okay, if the kids were forced to do that, and then the only way to get out of it is paid in those, and this was like not an option, that is different.
Yeah.
But 5 minutes ago, we just said that this was kids doing this to kids for fun, for a school thing,
Well, again, that was the.
for a school spirit event.
But again, that was what the statement was from the school themselves, maybe trying to
Well,
protect
then we're not
themselves.
going to know the truth then.
That is exactly what it was. The school is trying to cover their butt. And so that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
From the interview that I saw, none of the kids wanted to participate in this. This was not something anybody chose to look.
Do you know the age?
High
Range.
school.
I want to say it looked more like junior high, high
can pull
school,
it
and
up, I guess,
whoever
here.
15
I
to
saw the
18 is the age.
I would say
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I just thought it was kind of interesting that, again, like you said, this is more of a reason just to not send your kids to public school.
Yeah.
I mean, on
That's
top
a
of the
million
other
other
400
things.
reasons that there are.
No
So,
kidding.
okay, so I want to talk about this too. This came up to me. I'm sure a lot of people have seen stuff like this. The cost of living is getting out of control and astronomically insane. There's so many TikToks of people going and buying groceries and not being able to afford them, or coming home with like spending $100 and they have like 6 things and that's all they have. Not let alone the rent is going up everywhere. It's getting out of control. This right here says that in 2021, the average household, in 2022,
Are we on 10 or 11?
I don't remember which link this is. I don't have that one. It's keeping up with the cost of living is the link that it is, but you don't need to see this really. It's just text. So it basically says Americans are spending nearly $11,500 more annually to maintain their standards of
quality of
living in
life.
2021 or in 2022 compared to 2020. And in 1 year, they're spending 11.5 more, or $11,500 more, just to keep their standard of living.
That's a lot for a lot of
That's a
people.
lot of freaking money. And like for me,
And this is coming from the administration that told us that we saved what was it? I think it was 1 cent, 7 cents on our beans for the 4th of July.
wasn't that Nancy Pelosi something about like where they're saving like pennies or something like that? Or I don't remember. I know what you're talking about.
Hold on, I gotta find
But
now.
yeah, I don't know. I just find this ridiculous that like, in my opinion, this isn't just a Biden issue. This is a government spending issue. We created
The cost of 4th of July cookouts in
Yeah.
2021 is down 16 cents.
16 cents. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Wow.
So, and who knows how much that's actually lied and not real. But like,
okay, they could have lied a lot better.
but like the cause of this is us printing money constantly. I think the COVID stimulus is a huge part of this. I think this next
Crazy
coming
idea,
year is
Barry.
still going to be really
Stop
bad.
sending money to Ukraine.
It's not just that though. It's the trillions of dollars we keep. I think in the last 3 years we've gone up $4 trillion.
But Barry, the
Like-
110, 11 billion, I would have liked that back.
And go to what though?
Nothing.
Well,
Stop spending
Well,
it.
it should go to saving our border.
All
Or at
for
least
avoiding
it should.
taxes for the next of eternity. Say I.
I
Aye.
completely freaking agree.
You know what I'm gonna spend my money on? Horses, horse tack, maybe a saddle or two, maybe a new pony. Not on y'all. Done. Done.
Well, I don't know. I just find it absolutely insane that there are like a bunch of people saying the economy's, booming,
good.
doing good.
Oh, I
But
saw
people
a video
can't buy
of Harry on
groceries.
TikTok saying that. It made my brain hurt.
Well, that's
Like,
because that kid's he's a.
he was like, the economy is booming right now. Like, he created like 12 million jobs. Like, inflation is down. And I'm like, how can we look at the same statistics? Ours is going down into the red, and you somehow lie and make it go up in the.
Well, here's the thing though too, and he's
Getting a
I
headache.
think he's a little bit older than you, but he's in college. He's at a
Like 21.
Ivy League. I think he's at an Ivy League school.
I'm sorry, is that supposed to mean something?
I'm saying he comes from like a wealthy family. I guarantee you he doesn't pay for anything. Anything.
I could have told you that.
I'm just saying that's why.
Okay, here's my hot take for the day.
And that's a lot of the Gen Z people for some reason.
Well, all those spoiled brat kids, and I'm totally willing and able to call them that, the ones that live off of mommy and daddy's money, who have never played true hard sports, worked hard jobs,
Correct.
did a 9 to 5, or even started their own business, or literally did anything that had to do with financial money and spending and saving and dealing with that and tithing and everything. They have no concept of reality whatsoever freaking ever. None. So why are we shocked? Why?
Well,
are we
it's not about being shocked. It's about like just like
getting a headache from listening to them.
I guess
Yes,
it's more
yes,
of like
do.
I just want to bring these topics up because like they're important, and I think that people need to hear more about this stuff. It's not really about us being shocked. It's about us like just giving our own 2 cents on it. I guess you know.
Well, every once in a while, I'll see someone on TikTok be like, "Oh my gosh, did you hear what they said?" I'm like, "Yeah, they've been saying fly out of their ass." Like, what? Have you not been paying attention?
Well, yeah, it's just the common trope of being a politician. But again, I think that this problem though is not just one-sided. Even though it always gets pushed to one side, whoever's not in the presidency, it's both sides.
I don't like any of them.
And that's the problem. I think the only person that actually is against all this is like Rand Paul. He's the one that like brings up all the spending stupidity, and this is a cause of all that. I mean,
excuse me.
My generation, I think even your generation is going to be really affected by this because you're not going to be able to buy anything like in about 5 to 10 years. I mean, none of us are, but I mean, like unless you're really well off. And so I don't know. I found that very interesting.